23:39, he then sends a message to her that says, to do. She then immediately replies, to fuck, W-I-M, or what you need. Then immediately after that, she sends to him, we going or what?
And moving forward to July 1st. Oh, first of all, were any of those messages just read deleted?
All of these were deleted.
Okay. Now to July 1st.
July 1st, 2023 at 14:31, she sends a message to Jarvis that says GM for good morning. At 15:22, he replies, GM, quitting. At 15:24, she sends back, whatever, I was tired. And at 15:28, she sends, still my dick though. At 15:28, he sends to her, there's 3 letter V's, so it's VVV.BE, and then a space N, and then the uppercase Q and the lowercase q, as we know. He then sends another message at 15:28 with the words no. At 15:29, she sends, okay, fine. Yo, pussy, my dick. He then replies to her at 15:38, who said? She sends back to him, me. It's your pussy.
And were those deleted?
Yes.
And I want to stay on that same page for a second. Sorry. The messages on July 1st, starting from 1907 to 2135.
July 1st, 1907, he sends a message to her that says, I'm trying to fuck. At 1952, she replies back, okay. At 1952, she sends a message that says, WSP, meaning what's up. Then at 21:34, she sends, you still coming, or you was playing about trying to fuck. At 21:35, he replies back to Na'Ziyah, I'm serious.
And were those deleted?
Yes.
And now moving on to July 2nd.
July 2nd, 2023 at 15:46 hours, Jarvis sends a message to Na'Ziyah that says, can I get my dick sucked today? At 15:47, she replies, sure, no problem. At 15:50, Jarvis replies, yeah, okay. At 15:53, Na'Ziyah replies, I'm serious, you can. At 16:33, Na'Ziyah sends, there's going to be some type of photo that would have been sent at this time. At 17:08, there's a reply from Jarvis where it says, liked an image. Then at 17:08, Jarvis says, I'm going to sneak in, okay? At 17:08, Na'Ziyah replies back, why? 17:08, he says, who is up? At 17:09, she replies, everybody. At 17:09, Jarvis sends some type of photo to Na'Ziyah. Immediately after that, she replies, well, damn, I want to lay with you. Then at 17:10 from Na'Ziyah, are you here already? At 17:12, Shan told the kids that you said you was on your way, so they know you coming. At 17:13, Na'Ziyah sends, I want to see you. 17:21, Na'Ziyah sends, so am I just giving you head, or we fucking too, because looking at that picture made me horny. At 17:22, Jarvis replies to her, you tell me. 17:22 and 29 seconds, she says, I want to fuck too. Immediately after that, she says, so can we? And then at 17:22, 49 seconds, Jarvis replies back to her, yep.
And were those messages deleted?
Yes.
Okay. And now, later in the day, on June 2nd, or I'm sorry, July 2nd, there's a set of messages there.
Yes. July 2nd, 2023, starting at 18:41 hours, she sends to Jarvis, I want to fuck. At 18:41, do you? 19:04, are you busy, yes or no? 20:06, she sends, text me when you not on BS about fucking, because you playing. At 20:15, she sends, all I'm trying to say, I just want your body on mine. At 20:44, she says, babe, where you at? 21:52, she says, I'm trying to fuck. 23:58, she sends, she fitting to walk to the store. So now the date's changed to July 3rd and the hours are 00:42. She sends, before we go. At 00:42, 31 seconds, she sends, go upstairs in the bathroom. At 00:42, 48 seconds, Jarvis replies to her, why? At 00:42, 54 seconds, Na'Ziyah replies back, just go. At 01:11 hours, Na'Ziyah sends, we doing something or what? At 01:12, he replies to her, yep. At 01:23, she replies, I want to lay with you. At 01:30, he replies, I'm going upstairs. At 01:31, she sends, okay, Shan going up there too. At 01:31, she says, I just want to chill with you. At 01:32, he sends back to her, is she? 01:32, and Na'Ziyah replies, yes, you know she wants some dick. So she going to follow you upstairs. Then at 01:43 hours, she sends him another picture. 01:43, he replies, not getting any. And then immediately after that, the message says, from him to her, this is your dick. At 01:44, Na'Ziyah sends, I know it's mine. Give her some dick, so ass can shut up. At 01:44, give her some so she can shut up and leave you alone. She only acting like that because she's horny. At 01:48, Jarvis replies, I want to see you. Immediately after that, his next message is, while you in the shower. Then at 01:55, she sends him a photo. It is now 02:04 hours. He sends her a message that says, I don't want to give her no dick. At 02:10 hours, these next set of messages are all from Na'Ziyah. It says, come back downstairs. Damn, you scared. At 02:44 hours, she sends, hurry up. I want you back. At 02:50 hours, she sends, come downstairs so I can sit on it real quick. At 02:52 hours, she sends, I promise it's not going to be long, just a few, but it's FRW, up and downs, please. Then immediately, right after that is 02:53, she sends the same message, but it's spelled correctly. It says, I promise it's not going to be long, just a few up and downs.
And were all of those messages deleted?
Yes.
Now moving to July 4th.
July 4th, 2023 at 15:43 hours, Na'Ziyah sends Jarvis a message that says, in the shower right now, I'll text you when I get out. Jarvis then replies, hope you know that we fucking today. At 15:43 hours, she replies back, okay, fine with me, I was waiting yesterday. At 16:20, she sends him a picture. At 16:20, she sends, I'm out. At 16:56, a message is received to her. It's loved in image. 16:56, she sends a message, are you busy? It is now July 5th, 05:01 hours, she sends him a message that says, you was right, it hit different outside.
And were those messages deleted?
Yes.
And moving to July 6th.
July 6, 2023 at 03:05 hours, Na'Ziyah sends to Jarvis, yes, I can tell when you come. 03:05 hours, why? Now at 03:20 hours, she sends him a message that says, so doesn't that mean I'm pregnant? At 03:21 hours, she sends him a message, I don't know, so I'm asking you. At 03:33, Jarvis replies to Na'Ziyah, no. 03:39, she replies back, okay. It now jumps to 13:10 hours, still on July 6th. She sends the letters GM. Then at 1400 hours, she sends, I want to fuck. At 14:25, he replies, how? At 14:26, she says, I don't know, you got work and I'm just horny. At 14:27, he replies and sends her a message that says, where is your Nana? At 14:45, she sends, upstairs getting ready. At 14:54, Jarvis sends to her, she fitting to go. Then at 14:57, he sends the message, hello. At 15:03, Na'Ziyah replies, I don't know. The next message is, are you at work? And at 15:07, Na'Ziyah sends, I will let you know. At 15:08, she sends, you might can slide if you not so busy at work. At 15:08, Jarvis replies back to Na'Ziyah, yeah. At 15:08, he then sends, I'm trying to slide. At 15:13, Na'Ziyah sends to Jarvis the word question. Then at 15:13, he replies back, yes. At 15:14, she sends, do you like your girls skinny? At 15:14, he replies, why you ask that? At 15:14, she replies, just asking, and then there's some type of emojis that must have been sent.
And were those messages deleted?
Yes.
Okay. And moving just a little later in the minutes on July 6th.
Yep, July 6, 15:35, Na'Ziyah sends, I don't think she's going anywhere. At 15:37, Jarvis sends to Na'Ziyah, that's messed up because I was gonna fuck the shit out of you. At 15:37, she sends, I still want you to do it. At 15:40, she says, sends a message that says, so am I going to see you today on your break? At 15:59, Jarvis replies, how? At 16:01, Na'Ziyah sends, don't you supposed to be bringing me the money anyway, so I will see you? 16:03, she says, unless you are going to go to the store and get me some pads and other personal things. 16:03, there's some type of emojis that are sent. 16:24, she sends, I'm down to my last 3 pads. I would ask Nana, but I can't fit her big pads. I have a little pussy, they shit big. At 17:41, she sends a bunch of question marks with the letters WYA. 17:57, she sends, what do I supposed to do? What do I supposed to use? 17:57, she sends another set of question marks. At 18:08, Jarvis replies with the word, huh. At 18:10, Na'Ziyah says, I don't have any more pads. 18:10, I need to get some more and you playing. At 18:12, she sends, babe, please. And all of those messages were deleted.
Okay. And moving to July 7th.
July 7th, 2023 at 14:34 hours, Na'Ziyah sends a message that says, so what you on today? The next message at 14:35, she sends, you trying to fuck or what? At 14:37, Jarvis replies back, yes. 14:38, Na'Ziyah sends, I'm sorry. 14:38 again, she sends, but I hope to see you today. At 14:39, she sends, I didn't know if you were up last night, so I stopped calling and texting. And those messages were deleted.
And now moving to July 10th.
July 10th, 2023 at 16:41 hours. Na'Ziyah sends to Jarvis, you trying to get up in this today? At 16:45, he replies, all the time. At 18:54, she sends, you eat lunch yet? Then immediately after, she sends some question marks. Now at 19:54, Na'Ziyah sends, yo, job so empty. 19:55, she sends, I was just there. At 19:59, Jarvis replies the letters I and K, or I know. At 19:59, he sends, how you know. At 20:14, Jarvis sends, what's up? 20:39, Na'Ziyah replies, I didn't want you to see me. 20:39 hours, so I left. At 20:40, Jarvis sends a message to Na'Ziyah saying, who was with you? At 20:40, she replies, nobody. 20:40, again, 37 seconds, she says, you working late today? At 20:40 hours, 38 seconds, Jarvis sends to her, so how did you get to my job? At 20:40, 48 seconds, he then sends no. 20:40 and 58 seconds, Na'Ziyah replies, I walked up there. At 20:41, Jarvis replies back to her, so walk now. At 20:41, Na'Ziyah replies, I can't, Nana's back. At 20:42, she sends, can you pull up today since you're not working late? 20:42, she sends a couple question marks. Then he replies at 20:42 and 29 seconds with the word yup, and those messages were deleted.
Okay. And moving on to July 11th.
July 11, 2023 at 18:43 hours, Na'Ziyah sends to Jarvis, I want to fuck. At 1900 hours, he replies, when? At 2012 hours, she sends the three letters NVM, or never mind. At 2038, she sends, I took a shower. At 21:32, she sends, I be trying so hard not to think about you, but the dick too good not to think about you, and I miss you rubbing on my thigh. The date is now July 12th, and this is at 00:35 hours. She sends, we might go over sham crib. At 02:55 hours, she sends, I'm fitting to hop in the shower. Call as soon as you get done doing whatever. I want you to tell me how you going to give me my dick for my B-day. Tell me nice and slow and sexy so I can play NVM, you know.
And were those deleted?
Yes.
Okay. And later on July 12th.
July 12th at 14:38 hours, Na'Ziyah sends, good morning. Then at 16:47 hours, she sends, did I have panties on? At 16:47, Jarvis replies, no. At 16:50, Na'Ziyah sends him some question marks. And then at 1700, she has a missed call from Jarvis's number. It says missed call. She still has him saved in here as Bay for life. At 19:18 hours, she sends, how did you know? At 23:09 hours, she sends, you busy? At 23:11 hours, there is an incoming missed call again from Jarvis's number, missed call from Bay for life. It's now July 13th, 01:44 hours. Na'Ziyah has sent him a picture. Immediately after that, she sends a text that says shower pic, and then there's some emojis. At 01:49, she says, damn, no response. At 01:49, 21 seconds, she sends some type of emojis again, and all those messages were deleted.
And now moving to July 22nd.
Before we move on, Sergeant Jones, do you need a moment, a break? Are you okay?
I gotta go a little bit longer.
I'm good.
Okay, carry on.
Unless the court needs a break.
No,
Okay.
I'm making sure that she doesn't need a break.
July 22nd, 2023 at 14:56 hours, Na'Ziyah sends, Bae, I wanna fuck. Then at 14:57, he replies, work. Immediately after that, he replies, I do too. 14:57, Na'Ziyah replies, no you don't. 14:57, Jarvis replies, I do. Immediately after that, Jarvis sends WYA. Or where you at? 14:57, Na'Ziyah sends, I'm at the crib. 14:57 hours and 57 seconds, Jarvis replies, come on. At 14:58, Na'Ziyah replies, Shan and Nana went to Family Dollar. The next message says, I can't, I wish I could. At 14:58, Jarvis replies, how long are they going to be? At 14:58, Na'Ziyah sends to him, IDK, or I don't know. The next message is, I'm so horny. Then at 14:59, she sends, I want a hug from you. At 15:01, Jarvis sends her a message that says, I'm on my way, with the exclamation point. I just got off the phone with Shan. They are at the barber shop.
And were those messages
were deleted, yes.
And moving to July 24th.
July 24, 2023 at 03:24 hours, Na'Ziyah sends Jarvis a message that says, don't park in front. Immediately, Jarvis replies, why? Then at 03:25, Jarvis sends, you act like you're going to come outside. At 03:25, Na'Ziyah sends, I can't, I have guests. 03:25, she sends, and people do watch and look at the house all night. At 03:26, she sends, just park down the street, please, thank you. 03:26 hours, Jarvis replies to her, who? Na'Ziyah then replies back, people on the block. At 03:26, Jarvis replies, who is the guest? At 03:26, Na'Ziyah says, my girlfriend, Vari girlfriend. 03:27, Na'Ziyah sends, I took his bitch. Then at 03:27, Jarvis replies to her, she is our bitch. At 03:27, Na'Ziyah sends to Jarvis, she 14, about to be 15. At 03:28, she sends, are you close? At 03:28, Jarvis replies, is she our bitch or no? At 03:28, Na'Ziyah replies, yes. Jarvis then replies to her and says, you fake. 03:28, Na'Ziyah says, how? She is our bitch. At 03:29, she sends, Faye, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to make you mad. 03:30, Jarvis replies to her, she don't know about us, right? 03:31, Jarvis then says, and is she trustworthy? At 03:31, Na'Ziyah replies, yes, she don't know about us. At 03:56, she sends, it's off. 03:57, Jarvis replies, wrong light. And at 03:57, she says, the letter K.
Were those messages deleted?
Yes.
Okay. And later in the day on July 24th.
July 24th at 12:22, Na'Ziyah sends to Jarvis, fuck me then. At 12:22, he replies, huh? And at 12:23, he replies, I'm trying to. At 12:23, Na'Ziyah sends to him, you said fuck me. At 12:23, she sends, so do so. 12:23, Jarvis replies, when? 12:23, Na'Ziyah replies, trying to make time, going through my schedule, RN, for right now. 12:24, Na'Ziyah sends, what time are you going to work? At 12:40, Jarvis replies, now. It now jumps to 21 hours, Na'Ziyah sends WYD for what you're doing. Then at 21:23, she sends you free with some question marks. We now jump to July 25th. At 17:33 hours, Na'Ziyah sends, I want to fuck today. At 17:33 hours, Jarvis replies back, come on. And then immediately after, he replies, I'm by myself. At 17:33, she sends back to him, I can't RN for right now. At 17:34, Na'Ziyah sends, after work, can you call for me, please? And those messages were all deleted as well.
And now jumping to August 4th.
August 4, 2023, at 22:07 hours, Na'Ziyah sends to Jarvis, Chan and Nana left. DON, and then there's some type of emoji. Know what time they coming back. At 22:08, Jarvis replies, okay, what you saying? Na'Ziyah then replies back, what you think I'm trying to say. But there's some emojis in there again. At 22:09, Jarvis replies back with some type of emoji. Na'Ziyah then replies back, IDK, is it? I don't know, is it? At 22:09, Na'Ziyah sends, what you thinking? At 22:10, Jarvis replies to Na'Ziyah, are we fucking? At 22:10, Na'Ziyah sends, shit, are we? SHI. At 22:12, Na'Ziyah sends a bunch of question marks. Now it's August 5th. Na'Ziyah sends, wow, you stood me up. August 5th at 00:47, she sends, I was waiting. And then at 00:47, she sends, I a bum. And the next message after that is a correction that says, you a bum.
And were those deleted?
Yes.
And now jumping to August 26th.
Excuse me. Okay, I need a break now.
Okay.
Come on.
Be a good time for a 15-minute break. You come back. 12:10. Because I don't do this. I don't do YouTube. I always just click on my phone and hit live, but apparently I'm not in chat yet, so I don't know how to do it. The problem is I would have to end the live stream and log back on, and I don't want to separate the clips. So they've been on there for the last few days. Okay. Okay, we are back on the record. This is case 2459617, the people of the state of Michigan versus Jarvis Butts. All parties are present. We took a 20-minute break, and Ms. Ripley, you can continue with your questioning.
Thank you. Sergeant Jarvis, I believe we were leaving off at August 26th.
Yes. So text messages from August 26, 2023, starting at 0909 hours. Na'Ziyah sends to Jarvis, I'm in so much pain right now. At 0909, 40 seconds, she says, my stomach hurts really bad. At 0937 hours, Jarvis attempts to call Na'Ziyah. It shows here missed call from Bay for Life. At 14:26 hours, Na'Ziyah texts Jarvis and says, I did have my period. It came when I was in the hospital. At 14:20 hours, this has now jumped to August 27th. 14:20 hours, Na'Ziyah sends GM for good morning. August 28th at 00:06 hours, Na'Ziyah sends to Jarvis, my stomach hurt real bad. 00:55 hours, she sends, why you can't answer. 00:56 hours, she sends, never mind this, you anyway. At 01:31 hours, Jarvis replies to her, yes, baby. At 01:32, Na'Ziyah replies, my stomach hurt really bad. At 01:32 hours, Jarvis replies to her, I didn't nut inside of you. At 01:33, Na'Ziyah replies, I'm not even talking about that. I'm saying it hurts really bad. At 01:34, she sends, are you busy? 01:49, Na'Ziyah sends, I want to talk to you about some, let me know when you are free. And these were all deleted.
Okay. And August 28th, later in the day.
August 28th at 13:31 hours, Na'Ziyah sends a message to Jarvis that says, I want to try something. At 13:32, he replies back, what? Spelled W-A-T. At 13:32 hours, she says, a threesome. At 13:44 hours, Na'Ziyah sends, you down for it? Then she sends a question mark. At 13:44, Jarvis replies back, with who? 13:44, she replies, IDK, or I don't know yet, do you got someone? At 13:45, she sends, I'm still looking.
And were those deleted?
Yes.
Okay. And just a little couple hours later on October, August 28th.
August 28th at 18:58 hours, Na'Ziyah sends, I feel you don't want to be bothered with me. 2200 hours, she sends, WYD for what you're doing. 2200 hours, she replies back, thinking about you. 2201, she sends, oh, so are you down with the threesome? 2221, he replies, yes, with who though? 2246, she sends, IK, still looking. Then immediately after that, she replies, IDK for I don't know. It is now August 29th at 03:47. She sends, bet, that's what's up. He replies, huh? Na'Ziyah then replies, none, you'll figure it out. At 03:49 hours, he sends what? She then replies back to him, never mind, NBM, are you busy? She then replies at 03:50, again, exactly, so I'll take that as a yes.
And were those deleted?
Yes.
And now we're moving forward to, oh, sorry.
That's okay, go ahead.
We're moving forward to September 26th.
September 26th, starting at 14:31 hours, Na'Ziyah sends, Bae, you up? With some question marks. Then she sends another set of question marks. 14:32, he replies, yeah. 14:33, Na'Ziyah sends, my period haven't came at all. 14:36, she sends, hello, you there? With some question marks. 14:37, Jarvis replies to Na'Ziyah, what you mean? At 14:38, Na'Ziyah says, it have not came. 14:38, Jarvis replies to her, since when? Na'Ziyah then sends at 14:38, 42 seconds, since I was in the hospital. The next message is, that was last month. I'm scared, I don't know, IDK, what to do. I have to go to the doctor's, TM, for tomorrow. At 14:41, Jarvis replies to Na'Ziyah and says, you said that you took a pregnancy test and it was negative. 14:41, she replies, it did. At 14:41, Jarvis then replies, so go get another one. At 14:42, Na'Ziyah tells him on a text, I can't, I have no money. After that, she says, you go get one. At 14:43, she says, you ain't scared to get a plan B, get a pregnancy test and bring it later today. Just act like you have to use the bathroom. At 14:36, she says, PLS for please. She then replies, will you do it, with some question marks. At 14:51, she says, hello, with a bunch of question marks. Then at 14:56, Jarvis replies to her with, okay.
Okay, and now the messages from 9:26 at 14:31 and 41 seconds, all the way to 14:39 and 42 seconds, were those deleted?
Well, so they're deleted from the 14:31, 41 seconds, all the way down to 14:39 and 13 seconds. Those are not deleted.
Okay.
Then there's two that are deleted, which are the two messages that talked about, I'm scared, I don't know what I have to do. I have to go to the doctor's tomorrow. And then the other one that she deleted was when it says, you said that you took a pregnancy test and it was negative.
Okay.
There's one that she did not delete that was, it did. Then the rest of them after that, where it talks about get another test, come upstairs, and put it in the bathroom, those messages were deleted.
Okay. And moving to September 27th.
September 27th, starting at 21:26 hours, Na'Ziyah sends, but are we still on for Friday? At 21:31, Jarvis replies, what you mean? 21:38, she says, are we still on for Friday? At 21:49, Jarvis replies, yes. 21:49, Na'Ziyah says, the letter K. At 21:49, Jarvis then sends a text to her asking, what we doing though? At 21:49, she sends back, fucking. At 21:50, Jarvis replies, seriously? 21:50, Na'Ziyah replies, yeah, what else we gonna do? 21:50, Jarvis replies back to her, where? Na'Ziyah then replies back immediately and says, IDK, or I don't know, you pick somewhere. Then at 21:51, Jarvis sends to her, I always do. 21:51, Na'Ziyah sends, I know. At 21:52, she says, I really just want to cuddle, but if you want to fuck, we can. 21:52, 20 seconds, she sends, so do you, with some question marks. 21:52 and 35 seconds, Jarvis sends to her, do I weigh? Then right after that is a word that was corrected, like what? So it should have said, do I what? Then Na'Ziyah sends at 21:52, wanna fuck. At 21:53, she sends, I just wanna cuddle, but it ain't always what I wanna do. At 21:53, she says, so yes or no? At 21:54, Jarvis replies, only if you want to. 21:54, she says, okay, so we fucking then. 21:55, Jarvis replies, so stop talking about you want to cuddle then. 21:55, Na'Ziyah replies, okay, damn, you don't have to be mean. At 21:55, Jarvis replies, and it shows that he laughed at her comment about you don't have to be mean.
Okay. And were all of those messages deleted?
No.
Okay. Where does it start that it was deleted?
They do not start getting deleted until the messages that Jarvis sends to her, only if you want to. So we fucking men, stop talking about you want to cuddle. Those are the messages that were deleted.
Okay. And now we are moving forward to October 19th.
October 19th, 2023 at 22:23 hours, Jarvis sends Na'Ziyah a text that says, "Hey." She replies back, "Are you ignoring me?" Jarvis then replies, "No." It now jumps to October 21st at 19:05 hours. Na'Ziyah sends, "Hey babe, I need that plan B today." At 19:07 hours, Jarvis sends her the letter Y. The next message isn't sent until October 22nd at 04:33 hours when Na'Ziyah replies back to him, WIMY, so for meaning what you mean why.
And were those deleted?
Yes.
And now jumping to November 27th.
Okay, so now we're getting into the -5 hours for the
Okay.
November 27th, 2023 at 21:06 hours, Na'Ziyah sends, "I just want to talk. I really don't want to lose you." At 21:09 she says, "Can we talk later, yes or no?" At 22:28 she says, "I don't what's your problem, but I need you to bring me what I need tonight. It's hard doing all this gym shit with this baby, and if I don't do them, I'm gonna get a F." 22:28 she says, "If you keep ignoring me, you just gonna get no more pussy." 22:35 she says, "Answer the phone, you not doing nothing." 22:36 she sends PLSSSS for please.
And were those deleted?
Yes.
And now I'm going to jump ahead to January 9th of 2024.
January 9th, 2024 at 14:21, Na'Ziyah sent to Jarvis, "Don't forget, be there before 3. I will let you know when I'm leaving the school. If you're not there, I will wait." Then at 14:22, she sends, "Send okay if you've seen the message so I can delete your number." Then at 14:23, Jarvis replies, "Okay," and those messages were deleted.
And there was no further communication between Na'Ziyah's text number and Jarvis's number after January 9th, 2024, 1 year ago today.
Yes.
Madam Recorder, give me the you guys. Thank you. You're welcome.
Ready?
Ready.
Okay, we are back on the record. This is case 2459617, the people of the state of Michigan versus Jarvis Butts. We left off right before Mr. Riggins was getting ready to begin cross-examination of Sergeant Jones. Sergeant Jones, you are still under oath, and Once you get seated, Ms. Riggins, you can begin cross-examination.
Good afternoon, Sergeant Jones.
Good afternoon.
So you're the OIC on this case, correct?
Yes, sir.
When were you first designated as the OIC on this case?
It would have been, I believe, the 15th or 16th of February.
Okay. And what are your duties as OIC on this case?
The OIC begins with the preliminary investigation overlooking the case. On a missing person case, we're obviously making contact with family and getting some witness interviews. We also prep a warrant request that's submitted to the prosecutor.
Okay. So you're responsible for collecting evidence,
Yes,
and you're responsible for coordinating the evidence.
correct.
Okay. You conduct interviews, correct?
Yes,
And in fact, you conducted several interviews in this case.
yes, sir.
Okay. You submit evidence for testing, correct?
Pardon me?
You submit evidence for testing.
Yes, I have.
Okay. And I've seen the prosecution refer to you to make sure they haven't missed anything, correct?
What was your
The
question?
prosecution has referred back to you to make sure they haven't missed anything, correct?
Correct.
So you're the person that makes sure everything in the file is together, correct?
Correct.
And you interviewed several of Mr. Butts' girlfriends, correct?
Yes,
You interviewed, I believe, Tashiana Davis and Shannon Harris on the 15th,
yes,
and you interviewed Najeen Rushing on the 29th, correct?
I haven't looked at that date, but I trust that that's the 29th.
Okay. Did you interview any of his other girlfriends?
Yes.
Okay, which girlfriends did you interview?
I interviewed Kizzy Young.
Okay,
There's Tashiana Davis,
okay,
Angela, and I just cannot remember her last name at the moment, but she is who he resides with on Wilshire.
okay,
I attempted to make a phone call to another girlfriend. I'd have to look up my reports, but she never came in for an interview.
all right.
There is another girlfriend who her name is Lucretia Bryant Hauser.
Okay.
That may be all the girlfriends. I may be missing one. I'd have to relook at all the witness statements.
So you are aware that Mr. Butts has quite a few girlfriends, correct?
Correct.
All right. And from the very beginning of this case, you suspected, from your beginning of the case, you suspected Jarvis Butt had something to do with Na'Ziyah being missing, correct?
Well, when we were discussing the case on the first day, February 12th, DPS had told us the last person that they had contact with and they identified as Jarvis Butts. And then on February 15th, when we verified that Na'Ziyah was in fact with him and Cordell on the ride out to Ypsilanti, which is the last day that she was seen, then he became the primary suspect.
Okay. And from the beginning, you didn't suspect this was a missing person case, correct?
Well, she's missing. It's been a missing person case. I don't understand your question, I guess.
So you suspect that she was deceased, correct?
I didn't expect that she's deceased from day one. It takes a lot of investigation before you can come to that conclusion.
Okay.
It's not going to be one of those right away. You have to rule out every other possibility.
All right. Didn't you tell Shannon Harris in her interview on the 15th that this is not a missing person case at this point?
I believe I told her that it was not being handled by DPS as a missing person case at that point, and that it's being handled at Detroit Police Homicide Missing Persons.
So you didn't tell her that this was not a missing person case? We're no longer looking for a missing person?
I don't believe that would have been my exact wording.
Okay.
On February 15th?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't believe that would have been my wording, that I would have already come to some conclusion that she was deceased on the 15th.
Okay. Now, during your investigation, did you receive information that Na'Ziyah had thought about running away?
Yes.
Okay. Also, during your investigation, did you receive information about a potential sex trafficking ring?
There was several different leads or tips that come in about sex trafficking rings. All those were investigated.
Okay. Now, you interviewed my client, you yourself, with, I believe your partner was Sergeant Lynch, is his name?
Sergeant Sullivan?
Sergeant Sullivan, I'm sorry.
Yes.
You interviewed my client 3 times, correct?
A minimum, I believe, one the 31st, the 1st, and I believe we went back again
July
possibly
20th?
after that.
July 20th?
That sounds about right.
Okay. And you interviewed him 3.5 hours, May 31st, correct?
Is that the time on the recording? Then
Yes.
Okay.
An hour and a half, the second time, correct?
Correct.
And roughly 45 minutes. I believe it was like 38 and some change, the third time.
Okay.
So you interviewed him for close to 6 hours?
That could be true.
Okay. And you took statements from my client, correct?
I mean, we recorded the interview.
Okay. You didn't reduce anything to writing, correct?
No.
He never signed anything,
But
correct?
he signed his advice of rights.
Signed advice of right, but he never looked at what he had told you or what your conversation was, correct?
I mean, he verbally acknowledged things throughout the investigation. I did not reduce it down to handwriting.
And your conversation that you had with him, for lack of a better term, was rather fluid, correct?
Was what?
It was rather fluid.
It's a conversation.
There was a back and forth conversation where both you and your partner were talking, and he was just talking back, correct?
A conversation between the three of us?
Right.
Yes.
Okay. And you told him that you wanted to tell his side of his story, correct?
Correct.
He did tell you that he was joking about the messages he sent, correct?
The initial messages,
Yes.
so in the very beginning of the interview, he starts off where he denies that that was her. He claimed that he was sending them to his child's mother. It then turned into that he was just joking around with Na'Ziyah for entertainment purposes.
Okay.
Then he admits to that all the messages were in fact to Na'Ziyah and not to Shannon, because he could never tell that wasn't Shannon talking as you went through the rest of the messages.
But he told you that. Sorry, just one moment. Okay. All right. So throughout your 3 conversations, your 6 hours of conversations with him, he never acknowledged harming her, did he?
I don't believe I ever asked him that direct question. He had never acknowledged having sex or touching. That was asked multiple times of whether there was any type of touching. It was asked about the text messages where some of them are saying again that would presume that there had already been a time, and he simply said that it was still just texting for entertainment purposes.
Okay. Now, during your investigation, I'm sorry, specifically on the 20th, you and your partner came over and asked him.
The 20th of what?
July.
July?
This would be the 3rd conversation.
Okay.
On the 20th, you asked him, does he ever hang out on the west side, correct?
I haven't reviewed that full interview, but I do remember asking him about the west side, yes.
And he told you.
Objection, Your Honor. They can't admit their defendant's statements. 720 was not admitted.
Do you want to respond, or do you want me to rule?
No. I'll move on. Did you get any information that he had a child on the west side?
He does have a child's mother that lives on the west side, yes.
Okay. So that could be a reason for him to be on the west side, correct?
It could be a possibility.
Okay. But in your interview, he spoke with you freely, correct?
Correct.
He didn't argue with you. I believe you had a search warrant for his DNA, but he didn't argue with that. He freely gave you his DNA, didn't he?
I don't believe I did. I don't think I collected his DNA. Somebody else presented a search warrant for that.
You're right. I'm sorry. You weren't the one that, but he didn't argue with anyone. He gave his DNA freely, correct?
Correct.
Okay. He gave you his passcode to his phone, correct?
Correct.
All right. Now you said you that you searched the 7 Mile and Berg area, correct?
Yes.
And you mentioned that this was a former golf course. Now it's abandoned, correct?
Yes.
And there is a parking structure across the street, correct?
Well, parking lot.
A parking lot, thank you.
Yes.
And this abuts the Rouge River, correct?
Yes.
There's also residential streets over there, correct?
Correct.
Shiawassee over there, correct?
Yes.
Appleton, Pembroke, Vassar, those are all residential streets, correct?
Yes.
And those are all in the same area, correct?
Correct.
And I think you mentioned Angel, but her last name is Leonard. Angel Leonard, correct?
Yes.
And Angel Leonard lives at 13362 Wilshire Street, correct?
Yes.
That's her home, correct?
That's where her and Jarvis live, yes.
Jarvis lives there, correct?
Yes.
And you mentioned Na'Ziyah, is it Na'Ziyah Rushing?
Yes.
Okay. And Ms. Rushing stays at 4 Alexandrine Street, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So on the 9th, you had information that he was both at the both at the Wilshire address at some point, correct?
Yes.
And he was at the Alexandrian address, correct?
Correct.
And did you get any information from any of these witnesses that that was not true?
That what was not true.
That he was at those addresses?
Did I get any information that he was not at the addresses? I believe when we talked to Na'Ziyah, she couldn't remember if he was, she didn't acknowledge seeing him that night.
Okay. And would you agree, how do I say this? Mr. Butts is a complicated life, correct?
Mr. Butts created a complicated life, yes.
He has multiple girlfriends, correct?
Correct.
He is juggling girlfriend 1 through I don't know how many, correct?
Yes.
And he does things to juggle all these girlfriends, correct? He may lie to his girlfriend about someone else, correct? He may park around the block so that another girlfriend can't see her car. He may borrow a car. All that true? Is that fair?
It's fair.
Lying is not a crime, is it? Or lying to a girlfriend is not a crime, is it?
Well, lying to a girlfriend is not a crime, no.
Okay. And you spend a lot of time talking about text messages on the record. All right? Can I take you back to some of those text messages? Do you still have them with you?
I do.
Okay. Let's go back to September 26th
Of which year?
of 2023.
September 26th?
Right.
Starting at what time?
Okay.
Line number 12.
Line 1293.
I don't have numbers like that
You don't
on
have-
my page. Can you just tell me a time to the second?
Is that 1433?
The 1433 even?
Yes.
Yes.
So, in that text message, that's the one where she texted about her period not coming, right?
Yes.
And she texted that she was going to the doctor the next day, correct?
Correct.
And a little bit farther down, at 1457, does she also text him that I might not be pregnant, it might be from stress?
Yes.
Okay. Now, can we look at November 27th? You have that?
From
Let me find it.
from November 27th?
November 27th of 2023.
Okay. What time?
It is 22:28.
Okay.
This is where she texts Mr. Butts that she is doing the gym with the baby's car, correct?
Yes.
Now, the very next day, November 28th, do you have that?
Yes.
At 21:48, 43, thank you.
Which one?
She texts Jarvis Butts, it healed, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And Mr. Butts doesn't respond to any of these messages, does he?
He doesn't respond until the next couple of days, the next day.
Oh. Then in December, a couple of weeks later, Mr. Butts does some Google searches. So this is the Google search, correct?
December 10th.
December 9th through 11th?
10th. Yes.
So he does searches for abortion, Planned Parenthood sites, correct?
Yes.
He does searches for over-the-counter abortion pill, correct?
Yes.
And we all agree that Mr. Butts has many girlfriends, right?
Correct.
There may be some that we don't know about. Fair?
Possibly.
Okay. So, any testimony that says that these text messages, I'm sorry, these website searches were regarding Na'Ziyah Harris would be speculation, right?
I don't believe I said they were regarding Na'Ziyah. I just read what he had been searching on the internet.
Fair enough, but we can't say who they're regarding, correct?
Correct.
So you testified that you found some guns, correct?
Correct.
You said you found a long gun, I believe, at 13362 Wilshire, Angel Leonard's house?
Yes.
Okay. And did you find that gun was registered to her?
Yes.
Okay. And you said you found a couple of other guns, correct?
Correct.
Were those guns operable?
I don't test fire of the weapons.
Okay. So I take it
I would
those-
have to look at the laboratory report to see if they test fired them.
Okay. Do you know if any of those guns were tested for DNA?
I believe they would have been swabbed, but I don't know if those swabs were submitted.
Okay. You also testified that you found several knives in one of the vehicles, correct?
Correct.
All right. Did you test the knives? I know you tested at least one knife for
Yes.
for DNA. Did you test the other knives for DNA?
The other knives were not tested, no.
Okay. And did you test any of the knives for blood?
I believe we had all the knives swabbed, and then nothing came back leading anything to be blood, but we submitted it on the knife that was up near the driver's seat. The other knives, one was like a butter knife. Another one was like a smaller kitchen knife, but it was like under the back seat. It looked old and crusty, like it hadn't been up there. So the knife that was at the closest access that looked to be not stored in the truck for a very long time, as opposed to the other ones, were the ones that we had swabbed and
Okay.
tested. And then additionally, they were tested with Blue Star. So the knife that reacted to anything that maybe Blue Star reacted to, that was specific why that knife was submitted.
Okay. So there was no blood found on that knife, correct?
Correct.
So there was testimony about a black hoodie that was found, correct?
Yes.
Did you personally examine this hoodie?
I did not touch it. It was there. I was there as I observed it being opened up by the evidence technician who was collecting it, as well as re-going through the photos while we were there and then after.
All right. So the hoodie looked weathered, did it not?
It was wet.
It was wet. There were spider webs in it, correct?
I didn't open it to manipulate it, so if there was something that maybe the evidence tech testified to seeing, I wasn't right there as it was being opened, so I couldn't answer. I did not see a spider web. I can't say that there was not one.
Okay. Did you see any other debris on this hoodie?
So again, the hoodie is wet.
Okay.
A lot of times when articles of clothing are wet, it's hard to distinguish whether there's any other type of stains on there. We're not out there manipulating clothing like that. We preserve it the best that we can. That way, if there is something, it can be properly examined inside a laboratory where I'm not adding more possible contamination to anything.
Okay. But it's fair to say that it's speculation on how the holes would have gotten into it, correct?
Well, I said I don't know how those holes got there.
Okay. Now, we've heard that the hoodie was tested for genetic material, correct?
For DNA?
Yes.
Yes.
Was it tested for gunshot residue?
No.
Okay. You also found a pair of red and black shoes, gym shoes, correct?
Yes.
Were they tested for DNA?
No.
Okay. And you seized several cars in this investigation, correct?
Throughout the investigation, yes.
Okay. You had a cadaver dog pass through the cars, correct?
Correct.
Did the cadaver dog give you a hit on any car?
No.
Okay. Just a moment. I have no further questions. Thank you.
Can you redirect?
Yes, Judge, briefly. Sergeant Jones, that text back on November 27, 2023, where Na'Ziyah replies, "It healed." You can't say what that's about, can you?
Correct.
And defense asked you about some guns that were found and that there was a long gun registered to Angel. But it's true that Mr. Butts can't have any guns around him in his house, can he?
Correct.
Regardless of who they're registered to.
Correct.
And as for the guns, you were asked whether or not they were operable. There weren't tests performed on these guns, were there?
Not that I believe, no.
Okay. And tell me, why is it that there wasn't an emphasis put on doing like test shots for a gun?
The original, when we got the guns, I believe that the priority was to swab for DNA. Is we do that before we start sending them to get test fired and contaminating anything. The guns were swabbed, all the evidence that was collected, and then the items that I believe, after talking with lab specialists and looking at the different things that would be the most successful to coming back and giving me the answers on whether that was Na'Ziyah's hoodie or not, those were the items that were submitted. Once that hoodie came back that it was hers, there was no need for me to test the shoes that I had a picture of her wearing, because I knew that that hoodie was going to be showing that that was her belongings.
Now, as it relates to guns specifically, if you're trying to connect a gun to a homicide, would you need something to compare it to?
Yes,
Okay, and was there was no body found in this case, that's correct?
correct. You would either need a projectile that you may recover or find at a scene, or the actual spent casing.
And there was none of that able to be found, correct?
Correct.
And just generally, as just a common person with common knowledge, spider webs can be formed fairly quickly depending on the spider. Is that fair to say?
Yes, there's times I come in the morning and there's already one on my car.
And that wouldn't be there the night before?
Correct.
Okay. Now, in your experience, does Michigan State Police even test for gunshot residue?
I don't believe so.
And you were also asked about a cadaver dog. You've used cadaver dogs in your history, in your police work?
For 11 years, yes.
Okay. Now, a cadaver dog would only hit if they're in a vehicle if there was a dead body in that vehicle. Is that correct?
They'll hit on blood, or if there was like biological from somebody that's deceased, something.
So if a body was in a car that was not yet deceased, that cadaver dog presumably would not hit.
Correct.
And you got this investigation in February around the 14th or 15th?
Yes.
Okay, and when was that knife found in Mr. Butt's car?
After we impounded the car, then they did the inventory, the evidence search. It would have been probably a week or so later, and then it's reviewed when I get to that, and then submitted.
Okay, so that would have put almost a month and a half, almost 2 months away from January 9th, 2024.
Yes.
Nothing further, Judge.
Yeah, can I ask a couple follow-up questions?
Yes.
So if a gun was used in a homicide, maybe not as a shooting, maybe as just a blunt force instrument, or if it was a close range shot, couldn't blood or skin cells be on the gun?
Yes.
Nothing further.
Ms. Whitley, any last questions?
No, Judge, thank you.
Since I'm going to be done, Justice.
Thank you.
Any more witnesses?
In the halls of justice, where shadows fall, we're breaking down barriers, answering the call. Voices of the silenced echo through the night. We shine the light on truth, making wrongs right. Justice, watch, we see it clear. Overviewing the system, no need to fear. Breaking down the laws, talking truth all day. On Justice Watch, show we pave the way. From the court to the street, every voice counts. We're digging through the noise, making sense of doubt. With courage in our hearts and fire in our eyes, we seek the the hidden truths and expose the lies. Justice, watch, we see it clear. Overviewing the system, no need to fear. Breaking down the laws, talking truth all day. On justice, watch, shall we pave the way? So let's march together with the sound of change. Through the trials, tribulations, we rearrange. With each episode, know that we'll stand strong. To the beat of justice that goes on and on. Justice, watch, we see it clear. Overviewing the system, no need to fear. Breaking down the laws, talking truth all day. On justice, watch, shall we pave the way?